Hello, YouTube. It's Paul coming at you. Uh, just checking in. Playoffs are upon us. Last night, the Oilers came back and tied the series with LA. Pretty excited about that. For one, we got swept last year by Winnipeg, a city that basically had been a speed bump on the way to 5 Stanley Cups in the 80s and 1990. So, there was some hand wringing, like, oh, what are we going to do? And, you go through the season, you start off hot, you do all these things, and, you get to the playoffs, you got home ice advantage, and then things don't go your way in the first game, and I stayed up late to watch it when I had to be up at 5:30 the next morning and was pretty grumpy. But last night was exciting for a few reasons. We had Zach Cassian here. He's a speckled rainbow. He's let's zoom in on it. Woo. And he's a big bruising guy. One of my peeves with him is the last 4 or 5 years, except for a brief stretch in 2019-20 when he had a feud with Calgary's Matthew Tkachuk. Looked pretty disinterested. He's a big guy. He needs to do things like hit and be physical to make an impact. And last night he did. He was, noticeable for being noticeable. And, it's the type of thing that leads you to becoming like a playoff hero of one of their teams in the past. Like, guys like, Fernando Pisani. He's not going to fit. Oh, rain. Fernando Pisani. This is from O-Pee-Chee. Is that O-Pee-Chee Premier? I don't know. O-Pee-Chee. And it's a out of 100. But Fernando I think he set the record for most goals by an Oiler in a playoff year, which is astounding considering, you got guys like Gretzky and Curry and why is that? Ooh. And that was in 2006. That was a pretty unlikely cup run, but that's what the playoffs do. They bring out these unlikely heroes. Pisani was probably not likely to be a playoff legend, but he got hot and became within one win of the Stanley Cup. But I look back over the years, like the 80s, you had Gretzky and Messier and Curry, and they all had good supporting casts, and this team sort of feels like that. Like last year's playoff team, I mean, we had Dominic Cahoon, who was basically a Swiss League star or wherever, and we replaced him with guys like Zach Hyman and what's the big guy's name? Kane, Evander Kane. But the way the current hockey sets are, I'm not sure if we're going to get cards of them this year, but I really hope so, because it's kind of fun to collect, shiny cards of lesser players. And, Ryan McLeod, he sort of has this vibe. He's he's technically a rookie this year, but, he's very quick. Feels like he's been a prospect forever, but he's had some moves and some moments, and makes me excited. He kind of reminds me of like guys like Adam Graves, who in 1990, he was part of the kid line on the Oilers Cup team with Martin Jelena and Joe Murphy, and they provided some youthful enthusiasm to a team that was pretty much older veteran guys. And I'm just hoping that this year's edition goes on to make some memories, and it's not just Connor and Leon, although they are a big part of it. But that's why I like collecting Oilers cards. Is there are a lot of fond memories of various teams. Maybe not so fond memories. I mean, there's some players that I swear I have issues with, and if we were a Facebook couple, it'd be complicated. Let's put it that way. But yeah, so just thought I'd show those off. This Adam Graves, it's from Panini Classics, I think it's called. When Panini had a license, and they made some great cards, and it's kind of nice. They have separate autograph checklists that maybe Upper Deck wasn't covering, and I haven't seen an Adam Graves card by Upper Deck in an Oilers uniform yet, so yeah, I was pretty glad to snag that one a couple of years ago, because he had that magical run, and then early 90s, well, previous Oilers owner, he was a dirtbag, and he, once he gave up the team, the guy was just scum of the earth. Like, he did some jail time about 10 years after owning the team for some art fraud, like just a piece of work. So anyways, he was not paying his players, or couldn't pay his players, the exchange rate and taxes and whatnot. In the early 90s, the economics, free agency, teams started to weaponize that, and Graves was part of the exodus. He went to the Rangers, won a cup there. He actually scored 50 goals for the Rangers. I'm pretty sure he's got the team record for most goals, but Chris Kreider might have caught up to him this year. I wasn't really paying that close attention, but yeah. So, but for a brief magical playoff series or playoff year, he was there. Something else that's coming up right now is first Saturday in May, which is the Kentucky Derby, and I also collect horse racing cards. This is a Parker's card. Citation Runs Alone, Pimlico, and this covers. This talks about his basically walkover, which when he won the 1948 Pimlico Special, but he was the 1947 Triple Crown winner, I believe that is. Yes. And if you're a cinephile and enjoyed The Godfather 2, there's a scene where Michael Corleone goes to visit Hyman Roth in Miami. They drive past a Citation statue that's standing outside of Hialeah Park, or it's now former Hialeah Park, which was one of the great race courses of the early part of the 20th century, but fell in disrepair, hard times, horse racing. But to me, this is a golden age. Like, neat thing about horse racing is, like, you can trace lineage, or you can look at a program and you can say, oh, I remember this horse's granddaddy or daddy running, or his mother even. That happens. I'm excited to whenever I hear that, like a great mare like Rachel Alexandra has a foal, and so yeah. Uh, so that's my tie-in to the first Saturday of May, as well as a couple of cards from Goodwin Champions, 2013. I actually haven't taken these out of the case. I got them and I stuck them in a shoebox, and I look at them every now and then, and I think they're going to get some one touches. Now, the person is Mario Gutierrez. And the reason he's special to me is he won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness, and was pretty much the heavy betting favorite going into the Belmont on I'll Have Another. And my tie-in really is all about Mario. Mario is from Mexico, and he started his career off in North America, or Canada, in Hastings Park in Vancouver. And I had friends who owned horses. I've actually owned a couple myself. Haven't made a killing or anything, but it's fun. But Mario, I think he might have ridden one horse for me and my partners, but he started in Vancouver. A good jockey, doesn't matter racetrack, wins at about 15% of the races. 14, 15, even 13%. You can consider that jockey to be a good jockey. Mario, he was like a magician. He could find holes. I mean, when you win as much as he did, like, you get to ride the best horses. But his patron, who actually just passed away here, Glenn Todd, I forget what year it was. I want to say it was 2011. The fall of 2011. He says, "Look, you're good enough. Go ride in Santa Anita." It was a big move for him. Like you basically going from the minor leagues in Vancouver to the big leagues, which is Santa Anita. And he found a trainer, Doug O'Neill, who liked what he saw, and yeah, he started to ride, won a couple of races. Next thing you know, he's got I'll Have Another in a stakes race. I think I put $2 to win on it, and he paid like 48, I want to say. It was a Kentucky Derby prep, so he got some points there, and then you get to go on to other Derby preps. The current system, that they instated, where you have to win certain races as opposed to just collecting earnings, but you have to win points in certain races to be considered quality enough to enter the Kentucky Derby. So he won the Santa Anita Derby, and then he went into the Kentucky Derby, won that, and yeah, he won the Preakness, and I actually have an autograph program from the Preakness of Mario that I've definitely considered framing, but it's kind of neat knowing somebody or like that reached the highest pinnacle of horse racing at least for the 3-year-old year, and so Goodwin Champions produced these, and I decided I needed to have them. So that said, I haven't looked at the form for this weekend's race. my history is I actually enjoy watching like the big racing days. So like you got the sprint stakes, Wise Dan. He was a modestly bred. Like his daddy's stud fee was like two grand or 3 grand, but he was one of the best turf milers. Like I enjoyed watching him, and he always raced on the undercard for Derby Day, and so I kind of rambled there, but yeah, there you have it. Some Oilers playoff musings and memories, and some Mario Gutierrez as winning Kentucky Derby winning jockey of I'll Have Another. So, as Ed Wesker Griff says, get amongst it, y'all.